Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera to all my students. So in this our video, I want to share you about the introduction to costing on the part 5, which is cover about the topic cost statement and also the method how to segregate the cost by using a method high-low method. Okay. Okay, so this is our learning objective for this video. So at the end of this lesson, students should be able differentiate the cost of behavior by using the method high-low method. And the second one, you're able to prepare a cost statement. So actually the cost behavior that is we learned in the previous video, which is fixed cost, variable cost, semi-variable cost, and semi-fixed cost. And this method, high-low method, can be used. How we want to differentiate the cost based on the behavior by using this method. Okay. Okay, let's see. Cost estimation technique. Actually, we have the various of technique to differentiate or to segregate our costs. So, but in these courses, we just focusing on one method that we call it as a high-low method. Okay, this one is the step to use the high-low method. On the first one, we have to choose the high and low activity level. So activity level here is referred to the unit of production. And the second, we want to calculate the variable cost per unit. So what is the formula? The higher cost yang paling tinggi, minus the lowest cost yang paling rendah, divide by, bahagi high activity level, unit yang paling tinggi, tolak the lowest unit, lowest activity level. And from this formula, you can find out the variable cost per unit, right? Okay, the step number 3, after we find out the cost variable per unit, we have to calculate the total fixed cost. Okay, so in order for you to calculate the total fixed cost, you have to choose one data of one of the two data point and insert into the total cost equation. Okay, so actually we have to know the total cost formula is a fixed cost, total fixed cost plus a total variable cost. So to find out the total variable cost here, variable cost per unit, we have find out in the step number 2 and time with the activity level, and we can solve this formula and we can find out the total fixed cost. And the step number 4, we can express any standard cost equation by using this formula. It's okay, so we see the example how to use this step. Okay, so we try to use the formula for the high-low method in this example. So let's say this question gives you the detail of the months, the detail of the unit production for each month, and also the detail of total cost for each unit production. So first step, you have to find out the lowest unit and the highest unit and what the cost level. So from this unit, we can find out the lowest unit production is on the second month, which is 1,000 to 5 at the cost 38,000. And the highest unit is a 3,000 with the total cost 59,000. Okay, so you are required to find out variable cost per unit, find out the fixed cost, and also find out the total cost if the activity level at 2,500 and also the 3,000 unit. Okay, so we already identified the highest and the lowest unit with the production 59 and also 38,000. So the second step is you have to find out the variable cost per unit. So you just fill in the value in the formula, the high cost minus the lowest cost divide by high activity level minus lowest activity level, and you can find out at the value 12 ringgit per unit with the variable cost per unit value. So this one is the second step. Okay, third step, after you find out the variable cost per unit, you have to find out the fixed cost. So to find out the fixed cost, we can test any activity level to find out the fixed cost. With the formula, we know the total cost equal to variable cost plus a fixed cost. So now we try at the level 1 to 5 with the total cost 38 38,000. So 38,000 is the total cost, equal to 12 ringgit, which is variable cost per unit that we find out in the step number 2, times with the unit of production plus a fixed cost. So in this situation, fixed cost is none. So kita tak tahu. So we have to find out the total fixed cost by simplify this mathematic problem, and you can find out the fixed cost value at 23,000. Okay, step number 4, after we find out the fixed cost, we can find out the total cost at any activity level. So we try to solve at the first activity level, 2,500 unit. So the total cost equal 12 ringgit times with the unit production 2,500 plus with the total cost, then we can find out the value of cost at the 2,500 unit. So can you find out for me the step number 3 or step number 4 here actually? So step number 4, at the total cost 3,500 unit. So you can test your understanding. Any problem you can ask me. Okay. So this one is example question. So this example question I will put in your team class at the class notebook, and you try to solve this problem by using the formula that I have explained just now. Okay, this one is the second tutorial question. I will post in the Teams class notebook. Okay, so the next learning objective here, we want to learn about the cost statement. So actually, to prepare a cost statement here, I'm sure you already know the basic knowledge how to differentiate the cost of materials, labor and overhead in terms of direct and also indirect level. So cost statement is a provide for the assembly the detail of cost, a cost center or cost unit. Sometimes it's also referred as the cost sheet or cost card. Okay, so this one is a element of cost that I said. So in order for you to prepare cost statement, so you're able to identify the materials, labor and also other expenses cost, which is direct and indirect. So I'm sure you know all the indirect cost. There is one classification, we call it as a overhead cost, and under overhead there are the production overhead, administration overhead, selling and sometimes uh, direct expenses overhead. Okay, so this one is the format of cost statement. So you can refer your format in your module. So on the format of cost statement, the first thing you must write your title of the company and also the title of the statement and at what year ended. So the first thing we have to start with the direct materials, direct labor and also direct expenses. So you can find out the prime cost. So prime cost is actually all the direct cost. Okay, after the prime cost, we have to add the production overhead. So I'm sure you know production overhead is all the indirect cost, which is materials, labor and expenses. So you just add all the three elements of production overhead and you add with the prime cost here, then you can find out the total factory cost or manufacturing cost or production cost. You can use any name for that figure. Okay, after overhead plus a prime cost, then you will add any other cost overhead, which is administrative cost, selling and distribution cost, and last one is a finance cost. So you have to know how to classify the type of cost in administration, in selling and also in finance cost, and you can find out the total cost of production here. Okay, so this one is the exercise for the cost statement. So geometry, large factory, manufacturing, wooden table. So in the wooden table, so they give you your ended October 2015. So from this list of costs, first thing you may able to classify the type of cost in what element of cost. Jati, lumber, meranti. So this one we call it as a material. So material is a direct material cost. Screw, carpenter. So actually screw we can classify as a indirect material. Carpenter wages we know as a direct labor. Depreciation equipment, 70% used by factory, and the rest 30% maybe you can classify as a administrative expenses, cost overhead, and 70% as a factory overhead. Depreciation delivery truck. So for sure this delivery truck is a overhead under selling and distribution. Factory rent. So factory rent is a production overhead. Okay. Factory utility production overhead. Office rent. So office rent is a administrative overhead. Office salary is administrative overhead. Production clerk salary. So production clerk salary is a production overhead. Factory cleaner wages. So factory cleaner is under production overhead. Delivery truck driver wages. So that is a wages for delivery truck. So I'm sure here is a selling and distribution overhead. Repair and maintenance for delivery truck, that is a selling and distribution overhead. So from the given above, prepare your cost statement for Geometry. So after finish, you identify all the classification of the cost, so you can proceed to the preparation of the cost statement. So jati lumber is direct materials, carpenter is a direct labor, screw is a production overhead, depreciation 70% is production overhead, all the factory cost is fall under production overhead. So production overhead plus a prime cost, this one is 49,119 is a production cost, plus the administrative cost for depreciation equipment, which is 30%, office rent and office salary, and all the selling and distribution cost. So from that you can find out the value of total cost. So this one is a cost statement. So don't worry, you can do more exercise for the cost statement, and I'm already leave you the tutorial for the cost statement. So any problem that still not understand, okay, you can contact me anytime. Okay, thank you for watching.